Welcome to our podcast, HablArte, where we explore the vibrant and diverse world of Latin American culture and in this episode specifically music. HablArte is a project of the International Latino Cultural Center, or the ILCC, a pan-Latino organization that is based in Chicago. Today, we'll be highlighting some of the musicians who are a part of the Chicago Latino Music Series, which is a collection of concerts bringing Latin American musicians from all around the world right here to our very own city of Chicago. ILCC features year-round programming, such as the Chicago Latino Music Series, but also includes the Chicago Latino Dance Festival, the Real Film Club, a film at the end of every month, along with food from the country of the film being featured to accompany it, and this year's special anniversary of the Chicago Latino Film Festival. And today we are here with Paulo Padilha. Born in São Paulo, Paulo Padilha travels between samba and other Brazilian popular music forms, dialoguing between the traditional MPB and some pop elements and contemporary rhythms. His lyrics focus on stories about the urban lifestyle in a huge metropolis like São Paulo, in a sharp and good-humored way. He has been a music teacher for more than 25 years, teaching today at Veracruz Private High School subjects like Brazilian song history in the 20th century, music and rhythms workshops for children, adults, and teenagers. Padilha has performed more than 100 workshops of Brazilian music and about 25 concerts in 22 different cities in 11 different states, playing for more than 30,000 people from all ages. Thank you so much, Paulo, for joining us here on the podcast today. We really appreciate you being here.
It's a pleasure to be part of this podcast. I'm very happy to be here
Thank you.
talk with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So to get started, I wanted to ask you if you could tell us about your take and your group's take on Brazilian music, because I know that you are mixing traditional rhythms with contemporary and samba music, as well as other pieces of Brazilian music. And so kind of if you could talk to us about the style that you and your band play.
Okay. So I live in São Paulo. It's a very huge city, and we have 12 million people living together, and we have another cities around that. The total is 20 million people living together. So we have a very urban life, But I like the rhythms, the traditional rhythms from Brazil. That most of them, they are urban also. The samba is from the city, and I have some influence from my mom that is from the Northeast, and she knows a lot of folk songs, But at the same time, we have contact with, rock and roll, rap, hip hop, all these things. And as a music teacher, also teaching high school, I have contact with the kids, and I like to travel between the rhythms and not just make traditional music, but I like to mix. It's the best thing that I do. It's mixing. Yeah. So that's the way that is my music. It's very mixed. I like to mix because our culture is mixed. I have, for example, I have European heritage, African heritage, indigenous heritage. So it's all mixed inside me. So I like to mix the ages also.
No, that's wonderful. The music as a reflection of the different ethnic groups that make up Brazil, you as well. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you as well, like, what parts about traditional music and samba music for you are most important to maintain when you're creating music? Like, what foundations of traditional music are important to always be a part of what you are creating?
Okay, okay. So Brazil is a very big country with very different kinds of rhythms and styles. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The samba is the most popular abroad Brazil, but we have so many other rhythms and so many different kinds of samba. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have the slower ones, you have the fast ones, you have the escola de samba, that is that big parade that maybe people see abroad Brazil with this very big parades, and it's a very fast music, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
normally I mix more samba and forró. Forró is most from the northeast, the land of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to mix samba, forró, maracatu, that is from Pernambuco, northeast also, and other rhythms, and with this urban and contemporary influences. But almost all the time I mix more samba and forró in my music.
Okay. And I know earlier you were talking about how you are a music teacher, and you also been talking about how um, about your urban environment, and I'm curious how your music connects you to your community. So whether that's your students or your city, or your family,
Mhm.
um, yeah, how does your music connect you to your community?
Okay, okay. It's a good question because I have also a carnival street block. So
Mm,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. They say that
Oh,
we have a very nice carnival nowadays in São Paulo with
mm-hmm,
small street blocks
mm-hmm,
uh,
that's what I've heard. Yes.
in the communities, and
Mm-hmm,
it's very nice to go to the streets in the street blocks. So
mm-hmm,
it's a way to communicate with my community, you know.
mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
have lots of friends, musicians, and my students also. I'm not teaching in schools anymore.
Okay.
I have a master degree in talking about Brazilian music education in high
Mm-hmm.
school, and now I'm kind of doing more workshops and something more kind of freelancer, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
I'm in touch with this young people, and I like to play for them, and I like to make people dance with my music,
Mm-hmm.
and to make some parties,
Uh-huh.
music parties.
Yes.
I like to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I would love to know what it's like to be a musician during Carnival, and especially talking about living on the street block. Like what is that like? What are some of the stories that you have?
Oh, it's very fun, you know.
Yes.
It's nice because we have to rehearse lots of percussionists,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, it's nice to go to the streets to it's a sensation of freely, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
very nice, and it's very important for the community to stay together and you
Mm-hmm.
know arrange not just the music but the other things that you have, the costumes and something like that, the flags.
Uh-huh.
Each block has his own characteristics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds beautiful. All of the different elements of art coming together in community.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. When
I
you have
love
this,
them.
yeah, when you have this folk things, you always have music mixed with some costumes and some, you know, theater. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to say it. It's everything mixed.
Spectacular. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Um, so kind of switching gears, I know that you right now and in the past have toured in the States.
Hmm.
And so I wanted to ask you, when people are coming to your concerts in the United States, if you find that you are attracting a Portuguese speaking or people who are understanding of Portuguese, if that's the case, or if it varies, and what you find, no matter what language people speak, what they're connecting with your music.
Okay. You know, when I talk about these tours in Brazil, they
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, are you going to places where there is more Brazilian people?" And I
Uh-huh.
say, "No, we are going to the countryside of Midwest."
Right. In the middle of nowhere. Yes.
And it's completely different. We don't maybe we have one Brazilian person in the
Mm.
audience,
Wow.
and not every day. No, it's not so easy to find Brazilian people in this area. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm used kind of translate part of the songs, kind of making an introduction in English,
Uh-huh.
translating and inviting people to to enjoy the music, although they are not understanding the meaning, because you have the sounds and we have lots of percussion, and it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. Yeah, our we have two percussionists, and they have lots of different instruments.
Uh-huh.
So we have so many different things to pay attention talking about music, not just about lyrics.
Right.
But I am a songwriter, so I like to talk about my lyrics also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I try to explain. It's a nice balance, you know?
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like there's even if a part of lyrics that people can gain just by listening, even if in hearing the lyrics, even if they don't understand the language, still
Yeah,
I feel like can gain a sense of what you're singing about.
it's good for you in the US, because when we are in Brazil, we listen to a lot of US and UK music, and you don't
Mm.
know, and we don't know what they are speaking.
Ah.
And sometimes we have to guess. For
Right.
example, I have a funny example.
Uh-huh.
This song that say, "It's raining, man, hallelujah." I
Yes.
was always thinking, it's raining, man. Hey, man, it's raining. I was not
The
thinking
Raining
that it
Man.
was raining, really, man. And when I
Makes a lot more
discovered,
sense. That makes a lot more sense.
I was thinking about a place that was very dry,
Right.
and oh, finally it's raining. Oh,
Uh-huh. That
oh no.
one makes a lot more sense than It's Raining Men. That's so funny.
Yeah, we have lots of examples about it.
Uh-huh.
Trying to understand what people are saying in English.
Right,
I love
exactly.
the
Sometimes,
songs.
yeah,
Instead of,
sometimes they're not so clear with what they're saying too.
yeah, oh, yes,
Yeah, a lot of times.
yeah.
What is it like? So we talked about you touring in the States. What is it like touring in Brazil, and what has that experience been like for you?
Well, it's wonderful to tour in Brazil and to go to other states. You know,
Uh,
some of the states, Brazil is very big,
yeah.
so sometimes we go to other states, and we have other accents, other food. You
Mm-hmm.
know, different kinds of foods. We met other friends. You know, it's nice. Other styles of music also.
Right.
So sometimes we got to use it to new styles. You know, it's nice.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself being able to collaborate with different musicians traveling around Brazil and getting to learn about the different rhythms in music?
Yeah, yeah. One
Uh-huh.
of the actually, I'm traveling more in the U.S., playing in in different states
Wow.
than in Brazil. But
Wow.
one of the guys that play with us, it's André. He's a
Mhm.
researcher about Brazilian music. And
Okay.
he travels all around the country, recording folk songs, indigenous people songs, and we have a lot of exchange. And he shows me lots of music from other states, and we are always exchanging this information.
Wow. No, that's so beautiful to be able to then gaining information from all around, then encompassing more of the country that's
Yeah, yeah. Kind
yeah.
of mixing different styles from different states, you know.
I wanted to ask you um, whether you are teaching or you're performing music. I wonder what you want people to take away, either from a class that you're teaching, a workshop, or attending one of your concerts and listening to your music. Like, what do you hope
Mhm.
that people take away from that
Oh
experience?
yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I have one of my singles that I launched kind of
Okay.
6 months ago.
Okay.
That's called A Inutilidade é Essencial. That means in English, uselessness is essential.
Mm.
Can you,
Uselessness is essential. Mm.
uselessness is essential because this is something that I think that it's important. When we are talking about art, and as an artist, sometimes we start to think, hey, I'm doing something that it's not useful.
Right.
So, and sometimes when you are in a crisis or something,
Right.
you start to think, oh, what I am doing.
Uh-huh.
Then I make this song that's called "Uselessness is Essential,"
Mm-hmm.
because I'm thinking, let me try to translate. If everything was useful, why we have to sing? Why we have to dance?
Mm.
Why we have
Mm.
to, you know?
Yeah.
So why we have to love?
Mm-hmm. Going beyond like survival and necessity.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that something that I want to people to take away home is that the uh, thing that the art is important for me to communicate, and the art is important for everybody to live,
Mm-hmm.
not just to make useful things, but
Right.
you have to have this time to enjoy the nature,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy your neighborhood, enjoy a food, or you know. And most of my songs, I make some kind of walking on the streets and observing simple things of
Mm-hmm.
the daily life, and try to extract some poetry in this moment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's it.
Yeah. That's a great lesson. That's a great lesson. Sometimes there's a big emphasis on productivity. I
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, especially my experience like growing up in Chicago in the States, that if someone is doing something that isn't working towards like what society defines as productive, then it's not useful and it's not meaningful. But like as you're saying, then that gets rid of
yeah.
singing and
And
dancing and then community as well and all these things that help us like feel alive.
if you are thinking just in productive, how you have time to make a song, to
Right.
make a poetry, you know? It's
Mm-hmm.
not possible because you have to think, oh, I have to stop now and make something more useful.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have this calm to sit and to observe and to create something, and believe that creating is something important.
Mm-hmm. So, Paulo, I wanted to ask you where people can keep up with you, if you have any like social media, anywhere people can follow you.
Okay, thank you for your question.
Of course.
People can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and other social media.
Mhm.
Uh, the address is at Paulo Padilha Real. I will spell for you at PAULO PADILHAREAL.
Thank you so much. So everybody give a follow and a like over to Paulo so you can keep up with his music and everything that he's up to. I wanted to ask if you had anything else you wanted to share with us before we close out for today.
Well, I would
Mm.
like to share love for everybody and say this word in Portuguese is called amor.
Amor.
Amor is love.
Mm-hmm.
So let's spread love and no war, and
Mm-hmm.
let's make more art together.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I'd like everybody also to know a little bit more about Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very strong culture,
Mm-hmm.
and you are missing so many beautiful things because
Mm-hmm.
we know a lot about you, but you don't know a lot about us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have an advantage.
Well, thank you so much for being on today, and for sharing your time with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Paulo.
Obrigado. Thank you so much.
Obrigada. On our website, you also will find a page that is wholly dedicated to our HablArte episodes, where you can access all of the episodes that we've created so far, and the full length of each episode. And you can stay connected with us on social media to stay updated on the latest on Instagram and Facebook. And until next time, hasta la próxima.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.